everybody, it's Delilah and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share with you my week 29 and 30 pregnancy update. I feel like as soon as week 29 hit, I just got hit with a multitude of pregnancy symptoms. So I have lots to talk about this week. So I'll just get right into it. The first thing that I started to notice at week 29 was spider veins. I was really scared at first because I thought they were varicose veins, and I know that those can be pretty serious. I looked in the What to Expect When You're Expecting book, and I looked up varicose veins, and it didn't really sound like that, and it sounded a whole lot more like spider veins, which are totally harmless, thank goodness. But it basically is just little tiny veins that appeared on my thighs, mostly on my right thigh. And they're just a little bit more prominent, and that's basically all it is. At first glance, it pretty much just looks like a bruise, but at closer inspection, you can actually see all the tiny little veins going everywhere. So it's just spider veins, I am pretty sure, and they're not even that obvious. Only in certain lights can you actually tell that they're there. Mostly just in sunlight, that's when they're the most obvious, but I mean, it really doesn't bother me at all, and they're totally harmless, so it's just something that I started to notice. The next thing was a little bit scary at first. If this might be a little bit too much information for some people, but I found a little bit of blood in my discharge one night. Just a very, very tiny bit. I mean, it was old blood. It was obviously old blood. It was just really odd to me because I haven't had any sort of bleeding at all throughout this whole pregnancy. So I looked it up in the What to Expect When You're Expecting book again. And the fact that it's old blood kind of makes it not as big of a deal. Like if it was a really bright red or new blood, then it might be something a lot more serious, but it didn't sound very serious at all. It's a very normal thing. As long as there's not a lot of it and as long as it's old blood, it sounds like it's a normal thing because the cervix is quite delicate right now. I mean, it could be anything irritating it, causing it to bleed, or I actually talked to my mom about it and she said it could be the start of my mucus plug coming out, and she said that's good, it's a good thing, nothing to worry about. But it was just for a little bit of blood the one night, and then the next morning again there was a little bit of blood, but that's it. There's been nothing since, and it's just a little bit in the discharge, and that's it. So it's nothing to worry about. I feel perfectly fine. I don't have any cramping or anything like that. So when I discovered it and after I had read that in the book, I was not worried at all. But my husband, he was a little bit, he was quite worried. He's freaking out a little bit, and he went to Google to research what exactly this could be, and of course it's never a good idea to Google anything that is wrong with you because you will find the most dramatic things on Google and it'll scare you. So that's basically what he did, and he was getting quite worried and freaking out and telling me to call the doctor, but I just kept trying to reassure him it's fine, there's nothing wrong, I don't feel worried, and I feel like if I don't feel worried, it's probably fine. That mother's intuition thing, but it took a little while to calm him down. But it's actually funny because during that same night, I had my very first leg cramp, and oh my goodness, first of all, leg cramps are so painful, and I woke up to it, I stretched out my leg in the middle of the night and just woke up to the worst pain in my calf that I've ever had, and I'm pretty sure I yelled or screamed a little bit because Zach woke up and he was just in such a huge panic, and with everything that had happened the night before with the blood and the discharge, and now I'm screaming in pain in bed, and he's freaking out. He thought I was in labor, but it was just a leg cramp, that's all. The poor guy was quite panicked for a little while there, but it's just a leg cramp, nothing to worry about, very normal, but definitely very painful. And my leg was honestly sore throughout the entire next day. It hurt to walk on it. It was just the muscle was just so sore. I haven't had any leg cramps since, thank goodness. It was quite the experience. The next symptom that I have been experiencing lately is carpal tunnel. I have had carpal tunnel before and it was really, really bad at one point, but I got a brace for my arm and within a month it kind of went away and I've been fine ever since. But lately I've definitely noticed that if I'm using my hand too much, it's in my right hand, and if I use my hand too much, then my ring finger starts to go numb and sometimes my middle finger. It's not necessarily painful yet. It's mostly just the numbness in my fingers. This is definitely a symptom of pregnancy. I actually found out about this a few months ago, that this could be a symptom of pregnancy, and I definitely think my carpal tunnel is starting to come back just a little bit. So I'm just trying to not use my hand too much for anything that's really repetitive anyways. And as long as I wear my brace, at night or just whenever I'm not really using my hands, then I'm sure it will be perfectly fine. I guess the rest of the symptoms I guess you could call it, that I've been experiencing in the last couple of weeks have been more so emotional, less than physical. Because of that whole blood scare thing, I mean, I wasn't worried about it, but it got me thinking, baby could come now. We could have a very premature baby. And it's not uncommon, it has happened many times before. And it just really got me thinking. I just feel very unready at this point. If baby were to come tomorrow, we would not be prepared whatsoever. We don't have a car seat in the van. We don't have a ton of baby things that we're gonna need. We're just really unprepared at this point. So I've kind of had, I don't know if I want to call it the urge to nest, or just making sure that I'm prepared for when and if baby comes. I've just had this urge to make sure the house is totally clean and to just finish buying all the things that we need and to prepare and get ready. I don't know, just the thought of not being ready for when baby does decide to come, it terrifies me, because I like to have things planned and I like to have things ready to go. So the thought of being unprepared and having this sudden change in our lives and not being prepared for it terrifies me. So I think I've been having the urge to nest a bit lately. Yeah, the house is super clean right now and it's great and I'm loving it, and I'm hoping I can keep it that way, at least until baby comes, and hopefully after baby comes. But I'm just trying to make sure everything is ready and in place as much as I possibly can at this point. The last thing that I've kind of been thinking about and I guess struggling with a bit lately is just the uncertainty and the fact that I am so not in control right now. I cannot control, when baby's gonna come and all the things that could happen during labor. I feel so out of control and I don't like that. I'm the kind of person who likes to be in control of things and likes to have things planned out and the way that I want them to be, but that is not going to be the case. And I've said before that I don't have a birth plan at all, but I've come to realize that I sort of have this picture of what labor is going to be like in my head and the whole birth. I actually have a very vivid picture of it, but I know that there's a 99% chance that it is not going to go anything like the way I have in my mind. It could happen at any point in time. It could happen really fast, it could happen really, really slow, it could be super, super painful, or it could be, a relatively easy birth, or I might end up needing a C-section. Something could go terribly wrong. There's just so many things that could happen, and I don't like the idea of not being able to decide what happens and when. So that's just something that that's been really on my mind lately. Just trying to, trust God, because it's all in His control. Everything is in God's hands. He's got it covered. I shouldn't have to worry about it. And I know that being in God's hands, I am in the best hands possible. So He's in control. I'm just doing my best to trust and wait, and that's all I can do. I mean, I can't control this as much as I want to, so just trying to relax about everything, pray about it, and just knowing that it's all in God's hands. But yeah, I just feel like a whole bunch of random like physical and mental things have been going on in my head ever since I hit 29 weeks. That's just been kind of a lot happening. So now I will show you the belly shot of what I look like at 30 weeks. As you can tell, that line is becoming very prominent down my stomach. I don't know what that line is called, but I don't know if you can tell in the video either, but it's quite crooked actually. It doesn't go straight down my belly, it kind of loops out around my belly button, but I've got that line going all the way down, and it's getting more and more prominent as time goes on. I still don't have any stretch marks, which is awesome, but I know I probably will get some soon, especially since baby's gonna start growing quite fast now. I've been told quite a few times by many different people that I am carrying like a boy. I have been told again by many people that everyone thinks I'm having a boy by the symptoms that I've been having in my pregnancy and the way I'm carrying and just everything. Everyone thinks it's boy. Honestly, if this baby is a girl, I think it's going to surprise everybody. Well, there's one or two people who think it might be a girl, but everybody would be really surprised if this baby is a girl. And who knows? There's a really good chance that baby is a girl, and I know that all these wives' tales and, you know, the way you carry your baby, really it doesn't mean anything in the end. It's just old wives' tales, stories, guesses, it's all in fun. There's 50% chance baby's a boy, 50% it's a girl. I don't know, I'm starting to get super eager to find out what gender the baby is, and I'm starting to wish that we had found out what the gender was, because I want to know so badly. We've gotten this far without knowing, so I'm just gonna get through the next like 2 and a bit months without knowing, and it'll just make it that much more special at birth to find out if we have a boy or a girl. But I think that is everything for this week's update. If you want to follow me on social media, I will leave my Instagram link down below. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!